Good morning. My name is Mukhtar Kwaru. I am a family counselor, a relationship coach, and another. This morning, I would like to introduce to you my latest book called Community Development in Kenya. Community development is one of the oldest engagements the community in Kenya have been involved. The Department of Social Services is one of the oldest departments in the history of Kenya dating back to colonial times. This book, Community Development in Kenya, traces the participation of communities in Kenya from 1963 to 2022. If the communities are not involved in when it comes to projects, the projects are not going to be sustainable and they are bound to collapse. The focus of this book on community development in Kenya is on the bottom-up approach. The bottom-up approach was first expounded by Mr. Barton, and it focuses on involving the marginal groups when it comes to the community projects. So when you get into an area, you involve the community in identifying the projects based on their priority needs. And once they identify the projects based on the needs, then now you get to implementation. And now when you get to implementation, there is the aspect of monitoring and evaluation. And finally, if there is intervention along the way, you involve the community to be involved in the evaluation and even monitoring. So in essence, or in other words, it is supposed to be participatory, that you don't condemn the community to the periphery or to the rimbo, but they are involved in the process. The community, they have got a lot of wealth, they have got a lot of knowledge, and they don't have to have gone to school. But when you sit with them, you walk with them, you listen to them, they have got a lot of knowledge. And so in community development, this book expounds quite a number of the participatory processes which you have to be very, very careful, either as a government officer, either as faith-based organization or development partners. And this is actually very, very important. And it's so that because you have to involve them even in the final evaluation and even exit strategy, if they are being involved in a certain project, you have also to discuss if you have the time when the timeline for the project comes to an end. And so one of the historical mark our former president Uhuru Kenyatta did in July 2022 is the signing of the Community Groups Registration Act number 30 of 2022 in July. It is a great landmark because the basis of Kenyan economy is based on social welfare groups, community groups, and it even graduates now even to cooperative organization. So it's a great landmark. And so this book, it tries to give a great preeminence on community development. And in this book, I've discussed the importance of the bottom-up approach, the practicability of it, and how it should be implemented. Remember, there has been the bottom-up approach, it has been expounded in the world of politics. But in this book, it has also put across that it is very, very important for the community that they don't become enthusiastic, lest they get frustrated and because of the misplaced hopes and dreaming that things are going to things are going to change overnight. And that's why in this book I've also reminded the reader about the book by Okot Pimpitik on the Song of Lawino and the Song of Osho. where our PPTEC at independence, most of the communities in independence Africa, they thought that with independence, the deal is going to change it to gold and money, and so things are going to be okay. And so in Kenya, with the bottom-up approach, it is very likely for the Kenyan community to imagine that the government is going to have a Midas touch, open sesame, and that things are going to work overnight. And so it is very, very important that the community should also be prepared that things don't happen overnight. Development is a process. Otherwise, I really appreciate the support you have given me as an author for my many publications, because this is one of my 33 titles which are published. For colleges who are undertaking community development, this book can be very useful. I've written this book having a wide range of experience, both as a trainer in Kenya School of Government, Embu, and Government Training Institute, Maseno, and universities, Mount Kenya University, Cooperative University of Kenya, and African Nazarene, where I've been handling this community development as a unit. So I'm hoping that if you get your copy, this book is going to be very, very useful, even for general leadership and people who are in general practice. Thank you very much. Make sure you get your copy.